If the two most powerful nations on Earth went to war, who would win? The United States or China? This isn't just a question about weapons. It's a clash of military strategy, national psychology, economic depth, alliances, and cultural resilience. In this video, we'll take a clear, balanced, and realistic look at a possible conflict between the US and China. We'll break down hard data, military power, digital warfare, and even the mental strength of each nation's people. By the end, you'll have a powerful understanding of why the answer isn't as simple as you think, and why, despite rising challenges, the US might still hold a decisive edge. Chapter 1. Military size and spending. The US military budget is the highest in the world, over $877 billion in 2023. In contrast, China spends around $290 billion, making it the second largest spender. But numbers don't tell the whole story. The US has over 1.3 million active military personnel, 11 aircraft carriers, 5,000 nuclear warheads. China has more ground troops and a rapidly growing navy, but only 2 aircraft carriers and an estimated 400 nuclear warheads. What this shows, the US is built for global power projection. China is built for regional dominance. Chapter 2. Technology and innovation. Here, the US still dominates. America leads in stealth aircraft, F-22, F-35, drone warfare, hypersonics, and battlefield AI integration. China, meanwhile, excels in cyber capabilities and missile development, especially its DF-21 carrier killer. But in tech R&D spending, global patents, and defense startups, the US is still ahead. Innovation culture in Silicon Valley, DARPA, and military university partnerships keeps America one step forward. Chapter 3. Naval and air superiority. The US Navy controls the seas, period. 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers versus China's 2 more nuclear submarines, cruisers, and global bases in air power. America fields over 13,000 military aircraft, nearly 3 times China's fleet. The Pacific would be the primary theater. China has a home field advantage near Taiwan, but long-range US strike capabilities and carrier groups can offset this. Chapter 4. Cyber and space warfare. China has one of the most aggressive cyber warfare programs in the world. They target infrastructure, corporations, and even military systems. But the US has Cyber Command, NSA, and private sector partnerships that give it a wide cybersecurity network. In space, the US has a significant head start with GPS dominance, Space Force assets, and partnerships with companies like SpaceX. A war in the future wouldn't just be on land, it would be digital and orbital. Chapter 5. Psychology of the populations. This might be the most underrated battlefield, mindset. American troops have more battlefield experience from Iraq, Afghanistan, and dozens of other operations. The military culture is trained for expeditionary warfare and long-distance deployment. China's soldiers are well-trained but untested. On the civilian side, the US thrives on individualism, resilience, and adaptability. China operates with collective focus and state-directed messaging. Which mindset wins in a prolonged war? Resilience may trump obedience. Chapter 6. Alliances and global influence. The US leads NATO. It has security pacts with Japan, South Korea, Australia, and dozens of nations. China has Russia, North Korea, Iran, but most are diplomatically fragile or economically unstable. Global warfare isn't fought alone, and the US alliance web gives it a major advantage. Chapter 7. Geography and strategy. China has home field advantage in the Taiwan Strait and South China Sea, but the US has global mobility. The key will be logistics. Can the US maintain supply chains across the Pacific? Can China survive if its trade routes are blockaded? 80% of China's oil passes through the Strait of Malacca, a strategic choke point the US could block. Chapter 8. Scenarios. Limited conflict versus total war. A limited war over Taiwan, China could inflict early damage with missiles and cyber attacks. But a prolonged war favors the US, with superior resources, endurance, and allies. In a total war scenario, nuclear weapons are a deterrent, not a likely weapon. Economic collapse on both sides would be severe. The US has more strategic reserves, agriculture, and global currency dominance. Chapter 9. Conclusion. Why the US might still prevail. China is rising. Its military is modernizing, its influence is expanding. But the US remains the most powerful nation in history. It leads in global bases and mobility technology and R&D cyber and space assets, combat experience alliances, and economic leverage. Most importantly, it leads in mindset, innovation, resilience, and freedom. A war would be devastating. But if it ever happened, and let's hope it never does, the odds still lean toward the stars and stripes. This is Mind Unlocked. Awareness is power, and understanding the battlefield of the future starts in your mind.